My name is Alan Martin. As a college student, in the summer of 2007 in Ogden, Utah, I founded a company called CampusBookRentals.com. We operate inside the $10 billion college textbook market by renting textbooks to students as a low-cost alternative to them buying them inside the college bookstore. In the fall 2011 semester alone, we saved students over $10 million by them renting from us instead of buying from their bookstore. Students primarily access our service online, and we deliver books to them in as little as 2 days. But also we work with dozens of physical college bookstores across the country to bring rentals right to students on campus. Simply put, we make money by buying a textbook once and renting it multiple times over its useful life to students. In 2011, we'll do about $29 million in cash sales, which means about $21 million in GAAP revenue for us. We employ 120 people and operate out of a 57,000 square foot warehouse in Ogden, Utah. Though we've only been at this for 4 years, textbook rentals still have not penetrated the textbook market very deeply at all. As we look over the next 3 to 5 years, we're convinced that renting textbooks will become as common as buying in this $10 billion market, and CampusBookRentals.com is going to take its place in that market share, both online and in store. Clay and Joni, thank you for taking a few minutes with me. This means a lot. It really means a lot.
Thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
So right in the middle of the biggest financial crisis ever.
Yeah.
When everyone else is getting laid off and scrambling for jobs, you quit your job.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, my wife was also pregnant. So she was about 4 months pregnant at that time with our little boy, and but yeah, I guess ignorance is bliss or something.
Risk takers.
So yeah, exactly. Little did I know, but took the leap, and it's been a lot of fun.
Have you financed your business, or have you?
Yeah, the story gets kind of interesting there. So I had really great credit. You know, you guys get the credit card offers in the mail. I was pretty accustomed to ripping them up and throwing them away. Well, I started to keep those credit card offers, just thinking, you know what, maybe rainy day, I better not throw away these credit card offers. And so in June of 2008, me along with a couple other business partners decided that we would submit all the credit card offers at one time so that potentially would get approved at the same time. And we raised $250,000 on credit cards doing that. And so that was, so I had 15 credit cards personally, and then I took out a home line of credit and another personal line of credit, just kind of all happened at once. And that's what financed the business for 2008. That's how we procured our textbook inventory and were able to serve students.
Someone asked me that a long time ago. I can't remember. They said, "Do you know the #1 financer of small business?" And they said Visa.
See, yeah. Absolutely
Visa
correct.
or American Express, because you do the $25,000 credit card.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
So our environment is changing very fast. Everything right now is physical content is converting to digital, right? In the broader sense, all the casual reading, newspapers, books, this has happened to a pretty good degree. In higher education, it's moving a lot more slowly than that. It's a complicated ecosystem in higher ed. Yeah. Nonetheless, there's a lot of pressure. We know that this is going to be a big opportunity for us in the future. It's going to be very viable, very meaningful for campus book rentals in the future. But right now, it feels like it's potentially a little bit early. Nonetheless, there's a lot of pressure to make some bets. And so my question is, what advice would you have of how I can know when I should be making a bet and what the size of that bet should be when I feel that we could be a little early, but nonetheless, the wise thing to do would probably be starting to make some bets. Just hard to know how much weight to put in those bets.
That's a hard question. I'll just give you some thoughts. Do you have a way of analyzing and determining, based on other behaviors, how big will electronic book sales be?
We do. So we bring in demand data from 63% of the campuses across the U.S., so very statistically significant, and we can see how many physical books are being adopted. We can't see the digital adoption, but we can deduce that by the physical adoption. So I guess the answer is yeah, we do.
And what do you see? What's the size of that market? Do you see?
It's still actually going up right now. I mean, it's still incredibly strong.
You know, you've defined the market as campus book sales, right? That is not just only used books. That's new books too.
Correct.
Right.
That's absolutely right.
So electronic is just another book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's used, it's new, it's electronic. So and you know, I would do almost like a business plan, a startup analysis of this electronic book opportunity. And say, okay,
gotcha.
You know, do your assumption planning, do all your environmental stuff, put together a business plan. We call that a basis of interest at IMES. Is when we saw that opportunity, we would do almost like an internal business plan. that we want to fund this or not. I would also do a little paradigm shift in your thinking from what happens if I do it to really studying what happens if I don't.
Yeah.
Because it's a significant risk, technological risk to you if you're not in this game.
Right.
So you almost have to be in it to protect your core business.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of thinking about, you know, this basis of interest, think about what are the impact if somebody else gets in this, and what does that do to my core business?
Right.
We evaluated all the time about whether we should go to the mass distribution at Imes, right? So part of our brand was we were only sold through pet stores.
Okay.
It was very through breeders and stuff. So the big discussion always was about whether we go to the grocery stores, and we were not set up to do that necessarily. So, but that was always the talk, or somebody come in and say, what if Hills went this morning? What would happen? Which was our biggest competitor. So one day we did walk in, and Clay had said, Hills went mass. And all of a sudden the scurry and the scatter that went on in that company for the next couple days or the day, until he told us he was making it up. And
But it gave you your answer.
It gave us that
Yeah,
answer, right? All of a
that's
sudden it's like, okay, what happened? So it was a really fun, that wasn't a fun exercise when we went through it, but it was a great learning experience.
Pretty insightful. Yeah.
Well, and you might have to develop this technology and put it on ice for a little while.
Yeah.
You know, that's the other thing.
Hedge
too.
the bet, basically, to a degree. Yeah. This is fascinating. I mean, just the one point that I kind of got out of this is monitoring our data more closely to watch for trends to soften in the physical goods would be a pretty good indication that things are lifting on the digital side.
You know, the other piece of
We don't have
a
the
business
control.
plan, I think, which is a decision-making tool, is there's a simple little piece we use, which is called attractiveness criteria. And so you determine what are the areas we're going to be concerned about. So is it fit with the culture? Is it fit with our core
Gotcha.
competency? Is it profit? Is it opportunity-based or whatever? So you kind of lay those categories out and think through what those categories are. And then you can weight them, right? You can say, you know, fit with what we currently do is much more important than, you know, opportunity versus profits, you know, 20% of the decision. And then you'd be able to take down and maybe say, you know, expanding into electronic books is this versus, you know, audio casts or, you know, teacher curriculum books or whatever. But it starts to help you maybe put a decision-making framework that has some criteria, I guess, behind a little bit. Just it's still kind of, you know, pencil and gut a little bit, but it starts to give you a little bit more of what's important to us when we make this decision. And maybe you could do it more on a time base than you do across products. So a year to 2 years to 3 years to 4 years. You know, the risk at 3 years is we're out and everybody else is in.
Yeah.
You know, the exclusivity of it or whatever. So might be able to put something in
Seems
there.
like that would help us at least ask the right questions, which is, you know, 80% of the battle right there. So.
Do you have it in Notre Dame's book school?
No, we haven't cracked Notre Dame. No.
Haven't you?
No, we haven't.
You want that one?
Sure, I'll take an intro there.
I could probably help you with that.
Would love that. Would love that.
That's great.